Hey sis, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Let's get into this soft glam makeup look. So I'm starting off with bare skin, of course, you guys already know. So the first product I'm using is my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum. Now this acts as a primer and it's really good for oily skin. So if you are an oily skin girl, this is the serum or even primer for you. So I'm starting off with this as my base. So for brows, I'm using my Revlon Color Stay Brow Pencil and my e.l.f. Brow Lift. That is the duo for today. So I'm starting off with the brow gel and I'm just dispersing that into my brows. And this is just going to help really structure and really lay down my brows. My brows be doing the most. So I like to just disperse that product and brush all my brow hairs up. And then you see here that I'm shaping it in place. This just allows me to really create that shape for my brow. So now I'm going in with the pencil and this is just going to fill in any sparse areas and really create that brow, honestly, just sculpting it in place. I really love this brow pencil because the product really glides onto the skin and it has the perfect shade for my brows. So this is in the shade Soft Black. So it's like a black shade, but it's really soft. So I love that it matches my brows perfectly. So here you can see I got the brows done. So I'm just taking off the residue around the brow from the brow gel. And that is about it for the brows, guys. Really quick and easy. So now moving on to my Too Faced Born This Way concealer. And I'm taking a flat brush and just dipping into that concealer. And we're going to use this concealer to shape up the brows. So here you can see I'm shaping up my brows. And this just gives a really nice clean look to the brow, to the whole look, honestly. So I'm just going to do that. And then to blend it out, I'm taking my e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush. And this just is obviously going to blend out that concealer. So I'm going to put a bit onto my eyelids as well. That's going to act as the base because we are going to be doing some eyeshadow today, guys. So again, I put that onto the lid and blended it out with my e.l.f. Concealer brush. And this is the same shade I'm going to use later on for my highlighting concealer. So this is about 2 to 3 shades lighter than my complexion. It's looking like 3 shades. So this is just a heads up. So I'm going in with my Makeup Revolution Reloaded Velvet Rose palette. Love this palette, perfect for soft glam. And then I'm using my BK 212 brush, dipping into that orange shade as my transition shade. And you guys are seeing here that I'm using circular motions to blend it out above my crease. So slightly above the crease, not directly in the crease. That is what your transition shade is. So just to break it down, this is the shade all the other shades are going to blend into, or in other words, your base shade. So next I'm going in with my BK Beauty 211 brush. Now this is more tapered and smaller for you to get into that crease. And I did take that really deep shade. When you think of your crease shade, it's always a dark color. So here I'm showing you guys where the crease is. Where you see that fold is where you want to put that shade. So in my crease, I like to just use windshield wiper motions to really just add that shade into the crease. So I'm just going back and forth with it, and you're going to see I'm dipping in and out of my palette. That just allows me to really build that shade. So I don't know if you guys could see here, I'm also doing the V. So I'm really focusing on that outer V to give that smoky look to the eye. So here you can see I really built up that color. This is the main color of the eyeshadow. And I'm going to go back into my transition brush and just make sure that those 2 shades are blended together. This is really important because you don't want them to look like they're not blended. You want everything to blend. So just go back in with that transition shade, dip back into that orange shade if you want, just to build that intensity. So now I'm going in with my BK Beauty 209 brush, and this is going to be my lid shade. So I did go in with a white or even a nude shade for a soft glam look. This just helps to brighten up the eye. So here you can see I'm starting with the inner corner and just tracing out the natural eyelids and the creases of my eyes. This is what's going to, again, brighten up the eyeshadow look. And I only take this halfway. I don't go all the way with this shade. So you're going to see halfway, I literally stop in the center. So I go back in with the crease brush and we're going to blend those two shades together. This is what's going to make them seamlessly look like they're blending into each other. And that's it. Went back into the transition brush, made sure everything was blended, and that's it for this soft glam eyeshadow look, guys. Really simple. So we're moving on to the face. I'm taking my House Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation and my BK Beauty 101 brush, pumped it on the back of my hand, and we're just going to apply this in dots on the face. This helps you control how much product you're putting on. Very beginner friendly. So I'm just going to use my brush to blend this out. And guys, this is like one of my favorite foundation brushes. Been using it, you guys know, for the past how many videos now. Love, love, love. I also love this foundation as well. You guys see the match is flawless. The finish is flawless. I have nothing negative to say about this foundation. So I'm going to do the same thing for the other side here. Again, we just want to blend that out. Now, when it comes to blending, guys, you want to kind of dab it into the skin. Avoid swiping it. That's going to just prevent creasing or anything like that. So just take your time with blending. Dab it in until it disappears into the skin. And then with the rest or remaining on the brush, I just go over the nose area. All right, so now I'm going in with my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blush in Prima Donna and my BK Beauty 110 brush, and we're gonna dip into that. Guys, I didn't even know how pigmented this was, so be careful. I really had to take my time with blending this out. Luckily, I did it before my concealer, so my concealer is gonna do a lot of the work in cleaning this up in the next step. So here you can just see I'm blending out that shade. Such a beautiful shade, honestly. It's like a nice balance between pink and red. Love, love, love this shade, especially for darker skinned women. So like I said, I'm taking my Too Faced Born This Way concealer again, and we're going to use this to highlight. So I'm taking this in the inner corner and putting it above or on the sides of my nose as well. That's going to act as my nose contour later. And then I'm also putting it on the sides of my eyes to give the lifted look. And then we're going to blend out that concealer. So you can see I'm starting off with the edges of that concealer, really blending it into the blush, and then working my way in the inner corner. So again, this part is very crucial. You just want to take your time with blending. When it comes to a soft glam, you want your makeup to be soft. So really take your time with blending and just making sure you're keeping the product where it's supposed to be. Yeah, blend, 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 girl. Take your time. One thing about this concealer is that it is really full coverage. So if you're someone who suffers with dark under eyes, you don't have to worry about this concealer because it does the job in terms of coverage. So here you can see I'm just really cleaning up that nose. And yeah, we're gonna move on to the vertical area. So the forehead, down the bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow, and chin. You need a little product, guys. You don't need to do the most for this step. And then just blend it out. Again, take your time. All right, so next step, you want to take your foundation brush and you want to just go over everything. This is going to give you a more blended look. It's going to look like everything goes together. You can see how the blush looks, guys. Go over that with your foundation brush as well. This is just going to help everything blend together. We want the soft focus look, so go over with the foundation. It's okay. So next I'm going in with my Maybelline Lifter Stick in number 85 and my BK Beauty brush 109, and I'm taking that lifter stick and just applying it in all my contoured areas. You guys have seen I featured this in my previous video and I fell in love. This is like my new go-to contour stick. Love, love, love it. And one thing I love about it is that it's super easy to blend out. So who loves a product that is just easy to use? Me. So here you can see I'm just blending it out. I like to blend that product into my forehead, guys. This is really important. And then when you're working on your jaw, your cheekbone, you want to blend it up. So everything is either up and out or up and away from your face. This is just going to give a lifted, chiseled look to your skin. Again, I love, love, love this stick. I took no time in the blending process with it. And so far it's been working really well with all of my other products. So here I'm just going in with a angled brush. I love this for my nose contour, and we're just gonna blend out that nose contour. So again, I should do a video on nose contour or just contouring in general. If you guys want an updated video on contouring, let me know and we can do that. But here you can see really how I contour my nose. So again, you just want to make sure that you're keeping the product on the sides of your nose. This just gives the illusion of a smaller nose. And then here again, you guys are seeing I'm going back in with that foundation brush. Again, this is like so important. This is just going to make sure everything is blended together seamlessly. And you want to do this before any powder. So speaking of powder, I'm going into my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Powder. I'm in the shade Blondie, and I'm taking a velour puff today. Before I use that, I'm going to blend out that concealer. We don't want to set creases. And then go in with that powder and set until that powder disappears. This is just going to ensure no creasing. It also gives you a nice blurred finish. You guys can see the difference between both eyes. So again, blend out and set. I love this powder because it's such a beautiful shade. It matches my undertone perfectly. And the powder is just so good. I really want to try out that new, the double powder that she came out with. So that may be on my next video, who knows. But yes, go over all the areas we use that concealer. So now I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty Sunstalker Bronzer in Mocha Mami and my BK Beauty 111 brush. And we're just going to bronze back up the face, guys. Bring back some warmth to this look. Looking a little ghostly, but the bronzer always does the job in terms of bringing back that warmth to the skin. So you just want to really brush this in all the areas that we use that cream contour. All right, and then I wanted a more chiseled cheekbone. So I just went in with the powder to really clean up. We call this reverse contouring, and this is just gonna give you a more pronounced cheekbone. And then I'm taking that powder and the same nose contour brush and just going over my nose contour and really defining it. Now this brush, you guys have asked me, I did get this here in Canada from my local drugstore, so I'm not sure if you guys can get it in the States, but you can use any type of small brush for this step. So I'm going in with my Black Radiance finishing powder and my BK Beauty 102 brush. And this is the star of the show. This is what's going to bring everything together. This is what's going to give you that soft focus, that soft glam look. You want to go over everything, guys. And I used a big powder brush. This is just going to prevent like too much product, I guess. It's not going to give you that cakey look. It's going to give you a really natural look. So now I'm going in with my Black Radiance Baked Blush in the shade Warm Berry and my Real Techniques blush brush. We're going to dip into that and just go over our liquid or our cream blush that we used earlier. And this is just going to bring back some color to the skin, of course. I love a nice blush. So that's about it for the complexion. Let's move back onto the eyes. So I'm taking my BK Beauty 210 brush, dipping into that brown shade that we used in our crease, and we're just gonna apply this to the bottom lash line. Whenever you do eyeshadow, sis, do not forget your bottom lash line. This really just brings the eye look together. And then I'm just gonna finish up the eyes with some mascara. So this is the Maybelline Colossal Mascara, and I'm just applying this to my bottom lashes. I do have that those lashes that you put underneath the lash on right now, so I don't need to put on another lash. We're just gonna work with what I have. So at this step I normally do put on lashes, but I already have on some lashes. So let's move on to the lips, sis. We're almost done. I'm doing the CoverGirl Yummy Gloss in Coconuts About You, my Milani Matte Naked Lipstick in number 61, and my MAC Lip Liner in Chestnut as my lip combo today. So I'm just using that lip liner to outline my lips. And this is such a nice universal shade for all skin tones. You cannot go wrong with MAC Chestnut. And then we're going to use that Milani lipstick. This is such a beautiful nude for dark skin. It's not too out of door, but you definitely need to pair it with a nice brown lip liner like I did here. And then we're just going to top it off with that gloss. I'm such a gloss girl. This just really brings the soft glam look together. And then last but not least, we're going to set the skin. So I'm using my Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm Setting Spray. You definitely want to shake this before you use it and then apply. So we're going to set all of this. This is going to keep me matte all day. So that is about it, sis. This is my nice soft glam makeup look. Definitely beginner friendly. I hope I was very detailed in today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and check out my most recent video. I did use all Maybelline products, so check that out if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye guys.